I've been contacted to companies that is funny, who wanted to sabotage other companies and said, okay, so you've been hacked. So now we're going to offer you services to prevent you from hacking. And then their plan was going to hire me again to do that.
Conversation with a Hacker, an interview between Greg and Louis about privacy, security, and other mysteries. No bullshit.
All right. So yeah, basically, in hacking, you got like 4 different thematics. So you got the mass targeted attacks. We are attacking a lot of people, and you got the personal targeted attacks. So we are attacking one person in particular. And in these two kind of environment, you got 2 profiles. You got the high risk profile, so that are people with a high probability of getting hacked because they're famous, because they handle big companies like CEOs, they have sensitive information, etc. So these people are not the average person, so they're targeted a lot more by hackers because these people have enemies, and their enemies pay hackers to hack them. And you got the other side of the spectrum with our low risk profile, so that are average person. And in this case, they're not going to get hacked by hackers, not at all. Personal targeted attacks on low risk profile comes from your friends, your family, your coworkers, people that are physically around you and they know you personally. These people who are going to access, in this case, your phone. And since they don't have any technical skills, what they will do is they will just do a social engineering attack.
Yeah. If you go on a, let's say, a high profile attack, what kind of tools would you use, and how is this done?
Okay, so a high profile person get hacked by hackers. So the hackers have an arsenal of numerical weapon. They use different techniques to access your phone at distance. So you're not going to see that your phone is being hacked. And in general, so once your phone is hacked, what they will do is they will install a spy tool that will allow them to access your phone whenever they want and however they want. So everything you can do is, once your phone has been hacked and a spy tool is being installed, everything you do with your phone, they can do it. They can look at it, they can do everything you can do, they can access all the information you can access. Even more, they can activate your microphone while your phone is in your pocket. They can activate the cameras. Remember, we did a test when we were on the terrace about how much can you hear when your phone is in your pocket, and you can hear the entire conversation. Even in a noisy environment, because the terrace was in the street, even in the noisy environment, you can hear perfectly the entire conversation between 2 persons. So that is quite scary. The problem with privacy and this kind of thing is like having a cameraman recording 24/7 your every move. So if the cameraman is physical, you will feel the privacy invasion. But since with technology the cameraman is not visible at all, you don't feel the privacy invasion. But there is somebody looking at everything you do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but that's more for high risk profiles. The further away you are from your target, the harder it is to access the information out of your target, so to hack it. The closest you are, if you can touch the devices from your target, it's usually easy to hack them. So when you hack a high-risk profile, in general, you're far away. So it requires people with high technical skills.
Mm. What can I do to first protect myself from not being hacked by a hacker? Second of all, is there any way for me to know that someone hacked into my phone?
So from a high-risk profile, it's quite complicated because there is hacker involved. So the main step everybody can do, high profile and low profile, is first have updated phones. So Apple is a little better than Android. And if you go for Android, go for Google, because in general, the updates and the security updates are better. Android, there is a lot of different companies and a lot of different versions, and half of them are vulnerable to known security flaws. So that's really easy to access. So Android, go for a Google phone, and if not, use an iPhone with a little better. First of all. Second of all, don't install any weird apps or anything. Try to have the lowest amount of app in your phone, because apps also have security flaws. Even WhatsApp had a security flaws that allow people to access your message to hack into phones. That was actually a news scandal a couple of years ago. So even very famous apps get hacked. So they're not going to hack your phone, but they're going to hack the app inside your phone. And once they do, they have access to the entire phone too. So that's why try to limitate as much as you can the apps you install on your phone. And the main advice, and is what I do personally, don't have a smartphone in the first place. That actually removes all the kind of attacks you can do.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in another podcast. But yeah, go for an Apple device. The security is a little better. And secondly, try not to install a lot of app inside it. Use a VPN all the time. But the thing is, if the hacker is good, he's going to have access to numerical weapons that are not publicly available. So all these things is not going to matter. So if a hacker has what is called a 0-day, so it's a numerical weapon that exploits a security flaw that is not actually known at the moment, you cannot do anything about it. The only thing you can do is put your phone offline or don't use the phone.
Okay. Are there any signs that I've been hacked on my phone that I should look out for?
If you're hacked by a professional, you're not going to see it, because basically this person is paid to access a certain type of information. So these guys are invisible.
Okay, so update your phone. Don't download too many apps. Don't download any weird apps. Try to limit it as much as possible. And best case scenario is just don't have a smartphone.
Yeah, it's okay. Better if you handle a very sensitive information. It's better not to have a smartphone. Afterwards, you can have like two identities in general. For example, for famous people, you can separate your identities. So have one phone with one phone number and one identity on one side, and a personal phone number with another identity on the other side, and don't contaminate the two phones. So you don't exchange anything between the phone. So it's a little better. It's not going to protect you that much from a good hacker, but it's going to be harder for him to access information.
Okay. And when you talk about all this, are these things from personal experience? Have you been approached to hack into people's phone, or?
Yes, this kind of things happens a lot. I've been contacted by companies who wanted to do a corporate espionage. I've been contacted to companies that is funny, who wanted to sabotage other companies and said, okay, so you've been hacked. So now we're going to offer you services to prevent you from hacking. And then their plan was going to hire me again to do that. So yeah, but of course, I said no to this kind of stuff. In a work environment, in a personal environment, I've been asked a lot from low-profile people to hack other phones for different reasons, because jealous boyfriend, girlfriend, coworker who wanted to have information on another coworker. I don't know why, maybe for promotion, to sabotage his career or this kind of stuff. So yeah, these things happens a lot. And on the low risk profile, it's crazy. But actually, everybody around you tries to hack you for different reasons, and I've been asked a lot to do that. And when I said no, but I was curious what they were going to do. So I said no, and I just watched. So what they do is actually they pull a social engineering attack. So they grab the phone, they grab the computer of the person they want to target, and they are able to access it because it's so easy to just watch you enter your password. So they do that, and then they access the information they want. That's quite impressive, because these people, they don't have any technical skills or anything, but they're able to pull a social engineering attack. Okay, so it's a basic social engineering attack, but in the end, it doesn't matter, because they have access to everything on your phone the same way a hacker from the other part of the world would. The only thing is because they can touch your phone, there is really not much security.
Yeah, although once it's one thing to get physically access to my phone, but then if they want to keep track, they would need to install some spy app or parental control, as you said.
So that is the funny thing is hackers have spy tools, but average person, they have something that is actually the same thing, but he has a nicer name that is called parental control tools. So it's an app that you install on the phone. In general, is made for your children. But the thing is, the app behaves exactly the same way as a spy tool. So once installed, you can see what the user of the phone see, what it does. You can access the same information. And if the parental control app is quite good, it doesn't appear actually on the phone. So when you go see your apps, it doesn't show up. So it's a spy tool just with a different name. So, for example, if actually somebody who has no technical skills take your phone, unlock it with because he has your password, he can install this kind of app, and you will never be able to see it. And what he's going to do is this person will have access to your phone 24/7, your location, who you call to, who you talk to, and if the parental control app is quite good, even can enable the microphone remotely, so listen to you. He can access the camera and everything. So parental control apps, good ones, are like spy tools. They actually do the same thing.
So when it comes to protecting ourselves to social engineering attacks or protecting our smartphone in general, what would you recommend? Some small, practical, easy steps.
Okay, so first of all, we, as we talked in the password episode, put a passphrase on your phone for two reasons. The first one is a passphrase is quite hard to see from a distance. So people trying to access your password using a social engineering attack, they're going to have a hard time with the passphrase. The second thing about the passphrase, what is good, and we didn't talk about that in this episode, but if somebody steals your phone, what they do is they're going to unlock your phone. The encryption key of your phone is protected by your password. So if your password is 4 digits, it takes a couple of seconds from anybody to unlock your phone. Once they unlock your phone, they have access to everything that's inside. People who steal your phone, they don't care what you do. They steal your phone because they want to sell it. So they unlock it, they wipe it, and then they sell it back. The thing is, after unlocking it, they have access to everything. So if you want to protect yourself from these people, the passphrase is quite good. So first step, put a passphrase. Second step is use an automatic locking mechanism on your phone. It means each time you turn off the screen, it's going to be locked. And that's going to be quite painful for you to enter the passphrase each time you use your phone. So that's why enable biometric information, fingerprint or your face. About the face, unless you use Face ID from Apple, don't use anything else because it's quite bad technology. Only use Face ID from Apple. If you don't have an Apple device with Face ID, use the fingerprint. It's a lot safer on other devices. How to access fingerprint? So to leverage a fingerprint, for example, you touch a glass and the guy in front of you is going to grab the glass. You need 1,000 euros of hardware and you need special skills. So you shouldn't worry about that. If people who have these kind of skills come after you, they're going to access your phone one way or another. So that's not going to be a main issue. So use fingerprint is quite good. If someone grabs your phone, they cannot actually imitate your fingerprint. They cannot social engineering your fingerprint. So that's quite good. What I used to do when I was playing these kind of attacks, I lock the phone. So if a phone has a fingerprint or a Face ID, what I will do is I will try to unlock it until it locks, and I will put it back where it was. And then I will just observe for the person to take it and enter the passcode because the phone is going to ask you for it. So that's why I'm going to extract it. So be careful about that. Be careful if you leave your phone unattended and he asks you for your passcode, be careful of people around you. Yeah. Also, another thing, of course, is maybe quite logical, but don't let your phone to anybody. It's your phone, point.
Thank you very much for watching the video. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions, just comment below. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Subscribe to the podcast and stay tuned for next week's episode on Conversation with a Hacker.